Hey guys, it's Stephen here. Welcome back to another video, and this is 5 things that we learned from Manchester City's 2-0 win away in the Champions League against Villareal. Of course, there was a match reaction last night, but this is a more focused look at the world of Manchester City Football Club, and in particular, last night's game. There's plenty to talk about, absolutely loads, but these 5 things jumped out at me. I'm going to dive into them in a little bit more detail today. Of course, get involved in the comments below. Let me know the things that you took from the game. Do you agree with my points? Of course, as well, if you are new, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. It does help support a lifelong blue. Carry on making these videos for the absolute big cost of absolutely nothing. Not even a cup of coffee, for nothing. So do me a favour, subscribe to the channel, and let's get cracking. Let's start with the first thing that I want to talk about from this game, and it was a good game, by the way. It's really nice to feel. This is an extra bonus point prior. It was nice to see City feel so comfortable. Just 2 back-to-back 2-0 wins. Cozy Manchester City is back. Not perfect, but cozy Manchester City is back. Anyway, first thing I want to talk about is this man here, Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez is a proper player. He's an absolute proper player. It's very exciting to see Nico Gonzalez become what I hoped and felt he could be after the first time we saw him in the Manchester City shirt. He's been here for only 9 months, and only about 6 or 7 of those months has he been playing football for Manchester City. And he's only played about 13, 14 Premier League starts. Yet, look at these stats that I was just seeing from Nico Gonzalez now. Incredibly impressive. 1 second, let me just get him up on screen. Hang on, they'll be with you in a second. But these stats are mightily impressive as far as I'm concerned. They are... Where have they all gone? Here we go. In the Premier League versus Premier League midfielders per 90, pass completion is first. Pass completion to penalty box is first. Aerial duels is first. Passes completed second. Short passes completed second. Aerial duels 1 second. Touches second. That's against other Premier League midfielders, and that shows you exactly what we were seeing last night. This guy is getting better and better and better. Guardiola has talked an awful lot about how coachable he is and how he feels that he has the right profile, you know, to improve. And I think we're seeing the fruits of his labour there. Only 23 years old, and he's only made 13, 14 Premier League starts, and those are his stats there. And of course, last night was the Champions League against Villareal. But I think it was notable that in the second half, Manchester City were just not quite as good as they were in the first half. And it coincided with Nico Gonzalez going off. This is a guy who very much has the talent to go really far. Look, will he be Rodri? I don't know. Rodri's a Ballon d'Or winning 1 of 1. Does he even need to be Rodri to be a top-class player? Fernandinho wasn't Rodri, but Fernandinho was still absolutely awesome. Does he even need to be Fernandinho to be a quality player? No, he doesn't. He could still be an absolute great midfielder while not being an all-time legend. That's the point I'm making. Like, we have these incredible standards that we hold these players to wonderfully, but that doesn't mean that there can't be an incredibly good plays slightly below that standard. And I think Nico Gonzalez, he might even get to Fernandinho. I don't know, he might even get to Rodri, who knows? Probably not. But he's going to go far. Like, 23 years old, clearly very physically competent, as you can see there, with winning the most aerial duels of any Premier League midfielder. Which is, aerial duels 1 is second as well. Like, this guy is a physical powerhouse, and I know he had a slow start to life in England, but I was chatting about it to someone today, and look, we forget that how intense the Premier League is. I've seen the stats and the data. I was genuinely in awe when I looked at the amount of sprinting and running you have to do in the Premier League compared to every other league. It's absolutely absurd. Like, the Premier League is so far out ahead of everyone in terms of physicality, in terms of pressing and pace and all that kind of stuff. It's an absolute physical anomaly. It really is. So coming from any league to adapt to that is incredibly hard to do. So it's no wonder that in the hustle and bustle of the Premier League, it takes a little bit of time for some midfielders to adapt physically and the pace. And I think Nico Gonzalez is getting there, as you can see. Look, a little bit of things to clear up here and there, body positioning, pass choices and all that kind of stuff. But you can see that this guy has an awful lot of talent. And I'm very encouraged by what we're seeing in front of us. Gonzalez will go very far in a Manchester City shirt. I'm almost certain that this guy is technically a really, really, really smart footballer, and he's going to be a fulcrum of this Manchester City side for a long time. There are going to be games where he will play alongside Rodri, behind Foden or Schery or someone like that. It isn't going to be Rodri or Nico. I truly believe we'll see the development where he's playing as this sort of quasi 8/6, where both of them can take turns to go forward, and we'll see the physicality. I'm really, really encouraged, honestly. I think watching his development right now is just so exciting. He's a cracking player. He'll prove to be a really good signing, and I think once again, the board know what they're doing. You look at the the January signings, Nico Gonzalez, he's going to be a very good player. Kusanov is excellent, as we all know. Marmoush is an absolute killer. Vitor Reis is currently killing it out on loan at Girona as well. The rumours that he might get in the Brazilian World Cup squad. He's going to come back. That's 4 for 4, I think. I think it's going to be that good. And never mind, 𝙏𝙬𝙨𝙩𝙬𝙧 is doing really well. I think we've signed some really talented players. We have to be patient. We've got more projects than usual. But I'm really, really encouraged. Second thing I want to talk about is your man, Matheus Nunes. Nunes is getting better. Look, last night at right back, you thought he was absolutely excellent. There were signs of maturity defensive that I've just not seen from Nunes before. You guys understand, know how I spoke about Nunes in the past, how I felt like as a midfielder he was never good enough for Manchester City, and I still I believe that to an extent. I don't think he has the intelligence to play there, but I can't deny the one thing I will give to players is the credit they deserve. And Nunes, his work rate, his focus, his dedication to his craft, his willingness to accept any position is absolutely invaluable. The art of a squad player seems to have been lost in the modern era when everyone wants players to be regular starters or superstars. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a player just being a really good squad player. Like, why is that a bad thing? And hopefully they can progress and get better and better and become first team regulars. And right now we're seeing Nunes get better and better. I mean, look at these stats once again. 97 out of 99 accurate passes, 3 recoveries, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 3 out of 3 accurate long balls, 4 out of 5 ground duels, 11 passes into final third. A couple of times where he was tracking back defensively when he just got his body in front of the player and sort of harried them off the ball and just gently eased it out of play. It was so smart. It was a really experienced defending, and that's the one thing you never associate with Nunes because he's not really ever been an experienced defender. And I think, the talent that he's got in terms of his physicality is really encouraging. I don't know how far he'll go. I expect City will still hunt for a specialist, even with Kusanov, showing his defensive solidity and Nunes looking like he's getting better and better. I expect we will do, but it's still really nice to see a player, start to spread their wings a little bit and get better. And Nunes, look, I've got to give him the credit where it deserves. He's a really good footballer who seems to be getting better. Savinho, another much maligned player. The backstory of Savinho, of course, is one. I understand it's tumultuous given the Spurs link. And was that a £70 million performance? Probably not. But he was a man of the match last night, and he was still really good. It really was. It showed just how talented he could be. And of course, he has to get better in front of goal and so on. But we can't deny that Savinho is really, really talented when he gets his head down. Maybe you can deny it if you want to. I don't know. But the guy's 20, 21. He's really young still. He's very much in the nascent stages of his career. And we can see how quickly a player can go from really good to suddenly exploding out of nowhere. It happens all the time in football. And Savinho, look, he's obviously settled now into the rhythm of things again after the protracted transfer saga around the Spurs thing. He's back focused on Manchester City. He's got his fitness back. He's finding his form. And last night he was a man of the match. I saw these stats here over on Sky Blue Times. 5 out of 6 dribbles completed, 6 out of 9 ground duels won, got an assist, created 4 chances, 1 big chance missed. He also led the team for progressive carries into the penalty area, successful take-ons, ball recoveries, key passes, expected assists, progressive passes received, and touches in the opposition box. It's very obvious to me that Savinho is an incredibly useful outlet for Manchester City Football Club. He clearly has the obvious quality to affect games and just show just how good he can be as a winger for Manchester City. Look, I'm not saying he doesn't need to improve. He does in front of goal, but he's an obvious natural ball carrier. He's an obvious creator, and his assist was really nice for Bernardo Silva. Got his head up, put it on his head and the back of the net, and that's 2 assists now in 2 games. He's got his goal as well this season. Look, it's only 3 goal contributions, but it's getting higher. He's working well. He's finding his form. I think Guardiola's seen something there, when you look at his progressive carries and how far he gets the ball at the pitch and how good he is at dribbling. And what can I say, man? And he's winning his ground duels as well. The guy is working hard, and I'm really impressed with Savinho, and I'm also happy for him as well because Savinho is a quality footballer. I want to talk about Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis sort of proves, by the way, 2 points. The art of the squad play is very useful, and also proves that Rico Lewis is a midfielder. But we just talked about Matheus Nunes at right back. We just talked about how Kusanov can be useful there. Rico Lewis was good last night. Was he excellent? No. But was he much more comfortable in that role than he is at right back? Absolutely. And I'm sure he'll play right back or left back at some point again. But Rico Lewis, if he's going to be around the team, is a more than competent midfielder as a backup. I don't think he'll ever become a starter for Manchester City, but as a squad player, look, I thought he was smart last night. His movement is really, really good. And his assist, of course, as well. It's the classic KDB one, which you can tell he's learned, because his movement in the final third is really nice. That overlapping run. He doesn't give the ball away very often. He's accurate with his passes. His movement's good. He works really hard. So I don't think he's ever going to be a world-class player, but he's a good player. And Rico Lewis, look, I was happy for him last night. He's obviously a player that Guardiola loves for his attitude, and he is sort of let down by his physicality issues. Sorry, Rico, if you ever watch these. I think you're quality, mate. I do, but, Guardiola said the same, so I don't think I'm being too harsh there. But he's a player with plenty of spirit, plenty of quality, and his movement is second to none. His movement is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and his understanding of the game is fantastic. Rico is much more comfortable as an attacking midfielder, sort of an 8, in my opinion, with that hustle and bustle style than he is as a fullback. But once again, another example of how we need everyone to be, on their toes, because it's a squad game, and the longer we, the more players we get in better form, the better Manchester City will go. The final thing I want to talk about is, and it's a very blurry picture there, and I apologise for that, that's Ryan Schery getting another Guardiola lesson on the pitch. And a lot of people got a little bit prickly over this, which I don't get. If you paid any attention to Guardiola over the years, you understand why Guardiola is like this. He loves a one-on-one with a player, but he only loves a one-on-one with a player. Maybe he does. Make of what you will. He only loves a one-on-one with a player if he feels like the player is worth it. And I think Ryan Schery absolutely is. To me, I know he was only pitched for, 8-9 minutes, 5 minutes, and then 3 or 4 minutes of injury time. And you must be thinking, what is Guardiola, like, what is he even talking to him about at that point? There's nothing happened. But that's where the basic people like me and you, the normies, that's where we fail. Guardiola will see more in 9 minutes of football than we'll see in 10 games. Because Guardiola is this savant-like genius who notices every single misstep or every single wrong glance or every single position that's 1 inch out of place. Guardiola has this intense analytical understanding of the game that we can never even begin to comprehend. And honestly, people say it's like quantum physics under Guardiola, but explained perfectly. Like he's another level of football coaching. And Schery getting that, that lesson. Guardiola only does that if he thinks a player is worth it. Guardiola's not going to sit there and spend 10 minutes on the pitch with Calvin Phillips. No offence, Calvin Phillips, but we know he's not going to, because he's already made his mind on him. He does it for players that he thinks could be great, and he'll give them a lesson, to get them to the next level. And Schery, I think the idea was, I think he was trying to teach Schery when to choose to attack, and I think he says he prefers a player to decide what to do when a team's shown their hand, defensively, what the next movement should be. And I think there was a hint that he felt like Schery was rushing a bit with a desire to make an impact, which I understand given he's barely played. But Schery is going to be a fantastic footballer, and we're just going to have to be patient. It was nice to see Schery and Marmoush back on the pitch, and it was also nice to see, in my opinion, I like seeing these little bits. I like it when Guardiola clearly has that hunger and that desire to get on the pitch and just be himself. This is classic Pep Guardiola. Guardiola in his element when he's there, teaching these players and spreading the Guardiola word and showing them just what it means to be an elite player. Schery is majestically talented. He's got abilities that others could only dream of, but he is a player that is going to have to be honed. We're going to have to be patient with as football fans. I know we all want to see him unleashed. It's going to happen. But he's going to have to learn the lessons like everyone else did. And don't read into it too much, but read into this in the right way, not a negative way. A lot of people saying, it's performative and why is he getting on Schery? He's not getting on Schery. It's like it's an honour. I would love to have that lecture from Guardiola. If he's giving you a lecture, he means that he cares, and it's the highest compliment you can pay. It's when he only does that if someone ignites that passion for football inside him, and Schery clearly does. So I think Schery is going to explode, and he's going to be wonderful, and I can't wait to see just how good he could be. So that's the 5 things that we learned. Nico Gonzalez is a proper player, and I think he's becoming a really important player for this Manchester City side. He's quietly become one of the most effective players in the Premier League in the field. The stats show it, my friends. Nunes showing that maybe there's even more improvement. Maybe he's going to be a genuinely good right back if he isn't already. I know he's got the bozo moments, but is he not just a good right back already? He obviously is. Savinho shows the talent why Manchester City fought for him. Rico Lewis is a midfielder, and of course we talked about Schery as well at the end there. That's 5 things I took from the game, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you took from it. Give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Bye bye.